Hi everyone, my name is Erin Elizabeth Weinberg. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you're new here. Today is May 5th, the 5th of May, so we have a 5-5 day. Okay, so I just wanted to do a quick little angel number reading for you. So just these double numbers, just to get some kind of nice little messages of support and affirmation for you. Just to, do a nice little check-in and remind you that we are supported, we are being guided all the time, even if it doesn't feel like it. Okay, I have 4 groups for you today. You can pick by the animal, by the card, by the number, anything that resonates for you. And when you're ready, all the timestamps are below, and I'll see you at the reading that you chose. Hi everyone, welcome to everyone who picked group number 1. So just a reminder, for these 5-5 readings, or these angel number readings I do, they are just mini readings, so it's just going to be a quick 10-minute, pick some cards for you and see what they say. Okay, but you all picked the card Raven, wise woman, a change is coming. So really beautiful, love Raven energy. Raven, so wise woman, a change is coming. So ravens really kind of represent that energy between this world and the next world. They're kind of a messenger between life and death. So you're gonna die. No, I'm just kidding. You might be going through an ego death. You might be going through like a death of an old self. You might be coming out of a cycle of that. So part of you is connected to this card because part of you knows that a change does have to come, right? And sometimes we get so focused on, the cycle of us changing in life is actually life, death, life. But we're just so focused on the death that we think nothing can come out of this. There can't be something after this. There's no growth. There's nothing, we get so focused on like the loss and the pain and the transition, which is very real. So don't rush yourself through that process. We need to feel what we feel in order to get to the other side. So that's not what I'm saying at all, obviously, of course not. But there is always new life. There is always rebirth. There is always the next cycle we move into from that. So this card is really saying, if you've been in this place of like just shedding and crying and shifting and changing and transmuting and transforming and changing, and it just feels like it's never going to end, have a little faith. A change is coming. And then that wise woman energy is just more of an archetype, regardless of your gender. It's just more about knowing that we can acquire wisdom through our hard times in life, through our transitions. It doesn't mean we condone horrible things or people acting in a way that's not kind or loving, but it is a reminder that, if you are able to look at just staying compassionate and staying on the path and staying connected to your soul growth through some of these hardships and these harder times, that's the point of this. It's not to be like, oh, you attracted this for this reason, right? It's just to show yourself your strength, show yourself your connection to God, show yourself your connection to yourself, your commitment to yourself, all of that. So yeah, group 1, if you're kind of going through a hard time, hang in there. Faith and trust take time. Rewriting patterns takes time. Oh my God. But it's definitely possible to, come out the other side. Just stay the path, stay focused. And it will, a change will come for you eventually, right? After winter must come spring. Change it comes eventually. Okay, I'm going to pick 3 tarot cards for you. And then we'll do some oracle cards for you guys. More. Okay, wow. So for group 1, you guys have the 3 of Cups, the 10 of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. So I feel like, this is very much, you're in this cycle of, if this change is coming, just remembering to celebrate, to take care of yourself, to continue to show up in ways that feel good and kind and loving for you. And you can have fun, you can enjoy yourself, you can, you don't have to, we're not, again, not spiritually bypassing, we're not negating the process of this, of this 10 of Wands energy, of what you have to do to show up for yourself, what you have to do to be responsible for yourself, to heal this, to get through this, right? We're not negating that. But if you can call on the support of your community, of your friends, of people who love you to get you through this time, that's going to be really helpful for you, is what I'm hearing. And just knowing that, people who love you even when you don't feel lovable, and love you even when you're not playing a role, or I'm here to be this for you, right? People who love you just want to be near your presence when you're being you, even if you don't feel the best. So this is saying if you can push yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit to rely on help and rely on support in that way, it actually is going to be beneficial for you through this time, to just know that like you're not alone, and they're not going to do your work for you, obviously, but it can be helpful when we are going through a challenging time, just to remember that we are loved and supported by so many people. And then that's going to help you go through this thing of like doing what you have to do to get through this time. Again, it's not spiritually bypassing. You can't make it any faster than it's going to go. It's just everything has to run its course. But when you do have this love and care and support, even if you don't feel like, I'm on top of the world right now, right? If you have this love and care and support, it does make it easier to work through these things. And then again, this Wheel of Fortune just really mirroring this changes coming energy of the Raven. Wheel of Fortune is about the hands of fate. It's about things changing. It's about things moving. So just remembering that, eventually, change is going to come. Things are going to happen. The wheels of fortune, God's timing, God's plan is unfolding, is moving. And so it's about how you're managing yourself through this process and in the meantime of doing that, instead of just, waiting for things to get better. It's like we have to do our part so God can do God's part in these processes of growth and change and things we have to work through. And, just these cycles of life, the life, death, life cycle that happens so many times in one, physical lifetime on earth. But trusting, again, it is part of the process, and it is part of, what we grow through and go through as humans. Okay, so we have the Golden Poppy card, Dream, coming out. So I feel like this is, maybe you're in the phase of coming out of towards the end of this process in this cycle. So Dream can just give you things of like, what do I want my life to be when I move forward? What, sometimes when we're really stuck in that cycle, we don't have our imagination open, which is fine because we can't, because we're just trying to survive. So I get it. But Dream could just be like, how can I open myself up to use my imagination in a loving and healthy way? How can I, use myself, use my channel, open my heart, open my all this to kind of dream big, right? If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. So how can you allow more dream energy into your life? This isn't a message for everyone, but for some of you, pay attention to your dreams. You might be getting messages or symbols or things in there that are helpful for you. But yeah, just the letting yourself dream big after you get through the cycle, and not judging yourself that you, sometimes you can't like do an envisioning meditation or open yourself up to possibilities because you're just in the middle of the process, which is completely fine. Obviously, it's not, it's just supposed to go how it goes. And look, you can't make this up. Trust in the unfolding. So this is just what I was talking about. This is a process. It's God's time, not our time. It's God's process, not our process. So this is just a reminder that, again, things unfolding in the way that is different than what we think should be happening doesn't mean that they're not unfolding in the right and perfect way for us. So this is, again, easier said than done, but if you can just remind yourself, trust in the unfolding, keep the faith, a change is coming. Things are going to shift and change. It might not be as immediate as we want, because as humans, we tend to be not very patient, and we're like, all right, I already waited this amount of time, so why didn't it happen yet, right? So trust in the unfolding. Remember, you are being supported and cared for, even if it doesn't feel like it sometimes, and knowing that, again, like this unfolding is it will come together. And once it does unfold, you will be so happy and so grateful that you didn't try to manipulate it or change the process or anything like that. And just knowing that the unfolding, we can't plan things better than God can. And once, I'm sure there's many moments in your life, once everything has come together full circle, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now, or I get why it had to be in this timing or in this way or this, whatever the understanding that comes. Sometimes it doesn't come, but, I'm sure that you can think of at least a few times when that has happened for you and been comforting and affirming for you. And we'll close with one affirmation. I am kind. Wow. Okay, so I think this is really beautiful because there's a snake on here. So snakes are also about transformation. They're about shedding skins. They're about getting to this next layer of yourself. I feel like this kindness what I'm really hearing for you, group one, is put that on yourself. Give yourself some kindness and compassion. And just remember that, if you're going through a hard time, that's not ammunition for you to use against yourself. If you're going through a hard time, that's not a signal for you to be mean to yourself, to be not understanding, to be rude, right? I am kind. Just remember, like, you deserve your own kindness and care and love and compassion just as much as the rest of the world does. So, just knowing that I am kind, you can turn that energy back on yourself as soon as you want to, as soon as you need to. But I am kind, and make sure to include, yourself in your kindness practice. Okay, that's everything I have for you. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. If you ever want any more information about me, all that is linked below. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's for everyone who picked group number 2. So as a reminder, this is just a quick 10-minute little mini reading just to give you some good vibes, some good messages for this angel number day. Okay, so you all picked the card, the bear. You are the light. It is safe to step fully into your light. Wow. What a beautiful message. What a beautiful animal. So I feel like, for group 2, if you guys have been shielding yourselves or feeling like, well, I can be this big, but not my fullness, or I can be this, but not like that, right? You don't have to dim your light to accommodate people who are insecure, people who don't know who they are, people who try to project onto you and control you, make you feel bad about who you are. This card is really saying, like, it's time to stop doing that. And we can do that in phases. So usually we don't get it right 100% of the time right away, which makes perfect sense because, we're humans. But this card is really saying, you are the light. We do have our God-given gifts for a reason. And we do have these skills and talents and gifts we're supposed to share with the world. And that's actually like a disservice to God when we don't honor that. It's not just like the fact that we have the gifts, it's what we do with our gifts. And so maybe maybe you had to dim your light or felt like it wasn't safe to be who you are, or you had some negative experiences with that, which like is all very real, and we're not negating that. But just, maybe you're at the place now where you can be like, okay, where are places I can go? What are relationships I have? Where are places I can offer my light and my skill set? And just remind myself that the gifts I have are on purpose, and what I have to share is on purpose, and I'm going to trust in that. And just saying, it is safe to fully step into your light. I think that it is safe is really important for a lot of us. Safety is a reason why we don't feel comfortable, why we had to hide part of ourselves, why we had to, kind of close down in that way. So if safety is something for you, just remember that, like, again, you are a fully resourced adult. You are able to, just really use discernment about where is a place that you are encouraged to thrive and shine and be your best self. And so again, you are the light, honoring that. And just thinking about this bear animal, bears are so huge and they don't give a F about what they have to do to get to where they go. You see them, like videos of them walking by cars and just like taking the food they want. And like, okay, I'm not saying steal, okay, but just, embodying that energy of like, I'm this big, huge bear and this is what I have to do. And this is where I need to go. So just remember, you are the light. It's safe to fully step into your light. Group 2. So just this energy of, you don't have to compensate for other people's limitations anymore. It's really what I'm hearing. I'm saying that too, but I was hearing it first, and just remembering that, there is a time and a place that you had to do what you had to do to survive, to get through things, to, feel safe, but kind of pushing yourself out of that and unlearning that is important. Okay, I'm going to pick 3 tarot cards for you, and then I'll do some oracle cards. Okay. Wow. This is amazing. The Empress, the Chariot, the Emperor. So 3 major arcana cards. This masculine and feminine energy represented, regardless of your gender, with the Emperor and the Empress, and in between is the Chariot. So, I mean, I don't think I've ever drawn this combination before. This is really beautiful. So I feel like there's this pull between, well, I'm just getting a lot. So group 2, I feel like there's was some misunderstanding around your masculine and feminine energies. So regardless of your gender, we all have masculine and feminine energies inside of us, and we all have to figure out the balance that works for us in that way. So feminine energy is more around being still, allowing, receiving guidance, like less action based and more like energy based. And then masculine energy is more around going out and making something happen, taking action, being aware of yourself, like nothing to do with traditional society, man and woman gender roles. People get those confused, but that's not what this is. This is, masculine and feminine energy. And so I feel like with this chariot in the middle of this masculine and feminine energy represented here, this is really, chariot is like a pull between a head and a heart. It can be a pull between like two opposing energies. So I feel like group 2, maybe you've been reevaluating like, okay, I had to be overly masculine to survive in my life, or overly feminine or whatever, and then toxically being too feminine energy is like you're a pushover, you don't have boundaries, you don't know how to assert yourself, you can't listen to anything. And then too masculine is like you're aggressive, you harm people, you force things, right? So finding that healthy balance for yourself is really what I'm seeing with these cards, and just really feeling like, okay, how can you be the light by embodying more of like balancing out these energies? Again, I don't have the answer, only which ones work best for you, which feminine energy feels best for you, which masculine energy feels best for you. And obviously in different circumstances and different situations, you can rely more on your feminine energy than your masculine energy, or at work or in a relationship or whatever. So you get to decide. But I feel like group 2, you guys are really looking at, I can shine my light and be more feminine. I can shine my light and be more masculine. I can be and again, this is different than gender expression. Okay, that's totally something different. This is just energy based is what we're talking about. So I think really, the visual is just so clear. So with this chariot right in the middle, to me, it's just so much about allowing, moving forward and finding your balance between these two things. So if that resonates for you, just Google like masculine, feminine energies, and like a list should come up, and just kind of figuring out, okay, which of these characteristics was it not safe for me to be? Which ones did I have to overcompensate with? Which ones did I have to, whatever, any and all of that. So this is really, crystal clear to me with this. So, and just knowing when you trust how that energy feels and how you want it to unfold in your life, how you want to be, then that is what will help you like step more fully into your light, because you are expressing the way your soul wants to express itself, and so, and just again, I just want to make this really clear. You could be a very masculine presenting person in physical reality, but be someone who's way tapped into their feminine energy. Or you could be a masculine presenting person and be someone who does more masculine energy things, right? So this isn't about gender identity or gender expression. This is about just an energetic masculine and feminine energy. So just getting really clear on that difference. But again, I feel like you will feel more comfortable and strong and confident in terms of like stepping into your light when you do embody that energy and give yourself permission to do that. Look at this card flew out. Okay, we have Bearberry. So again, bear, can't make this up. I love it. Okay, so Bearberry and strength. So again, just what I'm talking about, when you do this, when you have the strength to listen to that inner voice, when you have the strength to be like, okay, this is the energy I want to embody. This is I have like when you rely on your inner strength, and you get more confidence to rely on your inner strength even more, and then you get more confidence, right? It's a cycle of moving forward. So I think opening up the strength, even just changing one little thing, doing one little thing different, is really going to honor this energy for yourself, and just help you continue to step into your light, be authentic, exist in a way that feels right and true for you, exist in a way that feels like, again, just really, I just hear like really authentic, and maybe a way that wasn't validated when you were growing up, or that by society or your culture or whatever, your family, but now you can really embody, that energy of being who you want to be with this, like tapping into these specific energies. Okay, then we have feel it to heal it coming out. So I feel like this is just a reminder that, if you aren't sure of some ways you want to heal or do this, just kind of take some inventory, do a check-in, and just say like, okay, well, what messages did I get about energies, or what things did I have to do in, that didn't feel the best for me. And so this is really saying, you're going to have to go back and reflect and get clear on that if you want to move forward with these things. But this is a process of self-reflection, and just not, we have to know kind of the programming we've gotten around this, so we are able to move forward and change it if we want. So feel it to heal it. Just knowing that it is important for us to, look at things that have happened in our lives in order to be able to move forward and use that as information and be self-reflective for ourselves. Okay, and we'll close with one affirmation card for your group 2. I keep the waters pure. Very beautiful. So I feel like this is just about, again, I'm getting a lot of energy around being authentic to yourself, being pure, not like just washing out a lot of the programming or a lot of I have to be this way or I have to be this specific thing or all this. So just keeping the waters of your soul pure, just knowing that, this is about being honest and authentic with yourself, and you just will feel so much better and more connected and clear to yourself when you do honor this, that balance that you want to have between these energies and how you want to exist and embody it. So I keep the waters pure. Very nice. Okay, that's everything I have for you. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. If you ever want any more information about me, all that is linked below. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hi everyone, welcome. This is for everyone who picked group number 3. So as a reminder, this is just a quick little 10-minute reading just for 5-5. So we're going to read the cards in that way. And you all pick the card Squirrel, Spiritual Maintenance, be your own caretaker. So I think this is a really cute message. I love squirrels, they're so sweet. This is just a reminder that, no one's coming to save us, okay? We can have all the tools in the world, all the resources in the world, all of that, but it's still up to us to take care of ourselves, to manage our spiritual hygiene, our spiritual fitness, right? It's not just our spiritual fitness and our spiritual hygiene isn't just something we just do once and then we're like, all right, done, did that, don't have to think about it ever again, right? It's like a lifelong process. Just like physical fitness, right? If you don't use it, you lose it. And so here with this spiritual maintenance, this is really so much about, just making sure you are showing up for yourself, making sure you're letting things unfold in a way that is affirming to yourself. I'm hearing even stuff around like balance. So maybe like work-life balance or self-care balance, maybe showing up for other people and showing up for yourself, just having some balance with that. And then also receiving care. So squirrels, they put their little acorns around everywhere, but they don't remember where they put them, right? And so other squirrels find them and take them too. So it's about receiving, right? Can you receive gifts that other people have planted or things people are trying to do for you or how other people are trying to show up for you in a way so that you can, receive some of this love and care and not trying to be so hyper independent. And so like, I don't need anyone. I don't have to do anything. I can just, take care of myself and this is what's going on. So this is really about, again, maintaining that and using all of your toolkit of just like not just being hyper independent. So how can you have balance in your life? What resources can you call on? How's your relationship with God? Like all of that is spiritual maintenance that we need to focus on to create peace and harmony in our life instead of just when we ignore anything you put above your spiritual practice, you're going to lose. Anything you put above like taking care of yourself, you're going to lose because you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give from nothing where there's nothing to give from, so it really is about just making sure that you are showing up in a way that is managing your energy and really committed to showing up for and taking care of yourself instead of again just kind of like doing some of these physical reality things that again aren't like we need to have that. We can't, we're not in La La Land. We have to like take care of those things. But it is also about making sure you are finding this balance and care within yourself, as well as, doing the physical reality and necessities too. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm going to pick 3 tarot cards for you and then a few oracle cards for you in group 3. Okay, so I think you might be in a little time of reflection here, group three. So we have the Knight of Pentacles, Hierophant, and the Three of Wands. So this is a lot of like slow moving pause energy. So the Knight of Pentacles, so maybe you've been in this phase of like trying to find some balance in your life with spiritual maintenance. Knight of Pentacles is like a little bit of a slow mover, but he does have the eye on the prize. You know, he has this pentacle in his hand. He has this like, hey, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm focusing on. This is what I want to have unfold in my life, right? So this Knight of Pentacles is really about moving forward slowly but surely, focusing on the things that work for you. So if you maybe feel overwhelmed about your spiritual maintenance, about your spiritual journey, about your spiritual fitness, this reminder, just take it one thing at a time. Just do one right action, and then the next right action, and the next right action, and all of that will add up in a way that does benefit you, instead of, you know, getting completely overwhelmed and like, I have to be perfect at this right away. This is really just about doing one thing at a time, one moment at a time, all of that, instead of, again, feeling like, oh, I have to master this right away, I have to be perfect at this right away, because that's not true. You know, our habits that are the most long lasting are ones that we incorporate slowly and really allow to, you know, like we merge in with them. We don't like just change overnight immediately. So trusting the process, moving forward with that. And then we have the Hierophant in the middle. The Hierophant to me is my card of like going back to the basics. It's my card of like more traditional things, again, only things that feel authentic to you, but only take what resonates from what I'm about to say, of course. But sometimes spiritual maintenance, I think with this Hierophant, that can really represent like things that are so ancient, right? That are in so many cultures around the world that we know are spiritual tools that people have been using for thousands and thousands of years. So like praying, meditating, fasting, just these things that just, you know, looking at the moon, being in nature, like these things that have just been around for so long that we know as humans are so good for our soul. And so I feel like this Hierophant is really, it is being like more traditional, back to the basics. So not trying to like, you know, do some of these more modern, like I have to do this spiritual practice, just some of these ancient, free, simple tools that have lasted for millennia for a reason. And then again, this Three of Wands, more about being still, more about being reflective, turning inward, and just really holding this space to, you know, contemplate, to think, to be like, what do I think, again, this is thinking about which spiritual tools feel right for you, and also thinking about how can I have this balance in my life, how can I have these things in my life in a way that feels good for me. So I feel a lot of reflective energy for you, group three, a lot of like, you know, don't rush it, slow and steady, one thing at a time, let it unfold, let yourself be guided to the things that feel right for you. And don't overcomplicate. You don't have to buy a bunch of stuff, you don't have to sign up for a bunch of courses, you don't have to whatever. It's really, you know, so much spiritual enlightenment comes when we just use these simple basic tools like continuously, and in a way that really honors ourselves, and less is more with a lot of our spiritual maintenance, and a lot of taking care of ourselves, right? A lot of things are important for us to make sure that, you know, our spiritual maintenance, we overcomplicate it, or we think I have to buy this course or have this thing or have this new clothes or this gadget or this thing, right? But so many of our best spiritual practices are just very simple: praying, meditating, walking in nature, reading the holy books. I mean, whatever feels right and resonant for you. But I'm just really hearing like, don't overcomplicate it, don't try so hard. Just do spiritual maintenance in like a reflective, calm, slow, peaceful way. And sometimes the ego hates that, because the ego's like, I want to buy something, I want to pay this money, I want to do this course, I want to do this thing, I want to whatever. But this is really saying, you know, it's important to again, just hearing back to the basics, one thing at a time. Okay, this card flew out. We have pine. So again, going out in nature, if you have somewhere with pine trees near you, that might be a sign. But preserve. So again, these things that have just been preserved by societies for thousands and thousands of years, right? Being of reverence to the earth, just doing these simple breathing techniques. Just don't overcomplicate it. Don't make it so, you know, you don't have to have the newest, best, hippest TM trademark program, right? Just do these simple things. Anyone tells you you have to pay money to connect to God is lying to you and is not acting from a place of integrity, right? So these things that have been preserved, these spiritual things, and spiritual maintenance, they work for a reason. They've been around in every single culture in for so long because they work. So this preserve energy is really about, again, these things that have been preserved, and also how you can preserve yourself, how you can honor your soul, how you can, use these tools in a way that are very honoring of the self, and not like, again, like no bells and whistles. You don't need all these frilly things. You just need these simple tools. And again, it might not be like super glamorous to the ego, or like, oh, look at me, I'm doing this, but it is, for good. Diamonds are formed under pressure. So I feel like, if you aren't doing spiritual practice, or you don't have like your spiritual maintenance up, your spiritual fitness up, maybe you are under a lot of pressure. This is saying that, okay, pressure can be fine because we get diamonds on the other side, but you don't need to be turned into a diamond every second. You can alleviate, again, if we really underestimate, like we do a lot of reactive self-care, but we underestimate what it means to, have this like basic line of, overfill the tires. So when the rough spot does come, we can rely on that and be filled up already. So diamonds are formed under pressure. That is true. But I think this is really saying, you don't need to constantly be put under pressure all the time. And if you are right now, just remembering that, like, maybe you're going through this pressured time, this hard time, so you can find this balance again in yourself of, how do I want to exist in a way that actually is helpful, and so I don't have to feel like I'm constantly under pressure, like I can't even breathe. But just like, again, maintaining your energy and finding, learning how to really anchor into peace and like acceptance and mindfulness in your life. Okay, and then we close with one affirmation. I regard all altars with respect. So I think this is, again, saying like, trust. You can make a holy place anywhere. This is what I was saying with like these spiritual tools that are free and ancient. You can treat every place with respect. You don't have to say, well, this doesn't work or that doesn't work. Like, pick the thing that feels right for you, and just remembering, like, again, these tools that have survived for so long deserve our respect, and the ones that don't work for you, say God bless, and find the ones that do. So just remembering, I regard all altars with respect, just being of honoring the many, many options we have on this earth, finding the path that feels right for you. And a lot of times when we stop judging something, that's when we can actually see if something is a match for us or not, or if we just thought it wasn't because we were too busy judging it. So I regard all altars with respect, just, opening yourself up to what possibly could be a spiritual tool for you that maybe you were judging, you didn't know, you didn't try before. Okay, that's everything I have for you. If you ever want any more information about me, all that is linked below. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's for everyone who picked group number 4. So as a reminder, this is just a quick 5-5 angel number reading. So just a quick 10-minute check-in with some energy, some guidance coming through for you. Okay, so you have picked the card Otter Initiations. Be open through this transitional time. So I think this is really beautiful. It's a beautiful message in general, but also looking at an otter, just thinking about how they float along the river. Have you ever seen the videos? They're so cute. Otters hold hands while they're sleeping so they don't float away from each other. So this initiation is really be open through this transitional time, is just, kind of going with the flow and surrendering and not resisting, stop resisting, putting down the resistance with this, and just remembering that, things unfolding in the way that we don't think are the right way, according to us, actually are the right way, because God is always right and God knows what God is doing. And so this just a reminder that, be open through this transitional time. It doesn't mean that, like, if you accept what's going on, it doesn't mean you like it, doesn't mean you condone it, doesn't mean you're like, sure, I want this forever, God, keep giving it to me, right? That's how we're saying it all with this. But just remembering that, being open is about, okay, what can I learn here? Maybe the only thing to learn here is just being more kind and loving and compassionate to yourself. Maybe it's awakening a strength you didn't know you had. Maybe it's relying on God more, right? So it doesn't have to be like this great, I learned this amazing thing and I'm condoning the situation and I want it to be like that forever, right? Obviously not. I don't, condone harmful behaviors from anyone, but this is just saying, when we can go with the flow, it is easier for us to kind of get through something, right? It's like that saying, if you're going through hell, just keep going, right? Instead of just like being like, no, why is this happening? I don't want to do this. I can't do this. It feels so bad, you know. So letting go of that energy and instead moving into this, like, okay, this is what's happening to me. How can I see how it's happening for me? And just knowing that, again, transitions aren't forever, nothing's forever. And so if you are going through, again, this transitory time, even if it's taking longer than the ego would like it to take, just remember it is still a transition, and it's not forever. You know, it's not your life forever. And just, again, the initiation is like, we don't want to, it's a fine line because I don't want to romanticize it, obviously, but it is important to remember that, you know, there are many soul lessons we have to go through and grow through in order to be a match for the thing we want. And that is very possible, something that could be happening right now for you. Okay, I'm going to pick 3 tarot cards for you. Good. Wow. All right, I thought this was a little lighthearted initiation, but group 4, you guys might be going through it because we got the Devil, the Hanged Man, and the Queen of Wands. Okay, so a little bit intense energy here. The Hangman really is about surrender. It's about stop playing yourself. It's about letting it go. It's about, you know, just being in this place of resetting. So I feel like that really goes along with this initiation card we pulled. The Devil here is about, you know, being tempted by the devil. So maybe rewriting a pattern or letting something go. Or sometimes when we move into something healthy, we can feel like we're doing something wrong because it doesn't feel super familiar. But if it's a practice you've never done before, it's something that's never been part of your life before, of course, it's not going to feel familiar. So don't feel like, you know, familiarity is the benchmark of, is this the right thing for me? You know, and so that's the first message I'm getting. Second thing with the devil is sometimes we can maybe want to go and rely on our addictions, especially if we don't feel super comfortable. So of course that can be, you determine, you know, what you're using in an unhealthy way. And no judgment. I'm an addict. I'm very open about it, but also, you know, just ways that maybe we're like working a little too much or playing too much video games or kind of like escaping into TV or movies or drugs or alcohol or video games, or I can't remember if I said that, but, you know, just these ways we need to be mindful of, you know, how are we managing our discomfort? Are we using our healthy toolkit or unhealthy toolkit? That's coming up with this. And then again, this Hangman right in the center of your reading just really is about surrendering. It really is about just, you know, being like, all right, well, I can't do anything, so I'm going to go with the flow. And Hangman also can be a reminder, don't go into learned helplessness. Don't go into like total, like, I have no power in the situation. You don't have any power about things outside of you or things you can't control, but you do have power around how you're showing up for yourself, how you're taking care of yourself, how you're talking to yourself. You know, just giving yourself kindness and compassion, even if you feel like you're not handling, quote unquote, a situation in a way that feels good to you. You know, if you need extra rest, that's fine. If you need whatever you need right now, again, totally fine. Just allowing that. Because we do have this Queen of Wands here, which is really beautiful, regardless of your gender. Queen of Wands is about, you know, this like passion energy. Wands is about passion, and it's about just like owning who you are and knowing this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm offering the world, and really owning that and being in that. So even if you don't feel like this right now, this is a very clear message that Queen of Wands energy is alive inside of you, and that whatever you're going through, there is this larger energy, this higher self, this bigger picture, this power of God to help you get through these times, even if it feels impossible. And so it doesn't mean, you know, you have to be handling it perfectly or like, oh my God, I should know better, or this should be easier, or whatever. Like if you're showing up every day and doing it, that means you're handling it. That means you're going through it. So if this feels like this transitional time is very painful, is very powerful, this is you. Look at yourself. Okay. It's really nice to just be, you know, have faith in that and trust that and really know that, you know, you can handle this because it's being brought to you. And so just remembering that, you know, relying on that Queen of Wands energy and yeah, just again, just being really owning that and owning what it means to be in your power, what it means to like, and being in your power doesn't mean, again, you can handle everything perfectly or like it feels fine. Being in your power can be something also like, you know, being in my power right now means I need to rest more than usual, or I need to say no to these certain things, or I need to take time for myself, or I need to, whatever. That's also what being in your power can mean. It doesn't just mean you're like, this, I'm ready to run around the world and take care of everything and do all this stuff. Being in your power means your limits, when to say no, when things aren't working for you and when you need a break. So really honoring that and honoring, being able to say no in your transitions and during these times is a very, very, very honorable and helpful skill that you can tap into. Attract, Violet. Okay, so I feel like law of attraction is big red flag for me. It gets used in a very unhealthy way a lot of times, a lot of victim blaming things, but I feel like this is, well, maybe that's the message. And the message I want to tell you is, you are not responsible for attracting someone else's bad behavior in your life. Okay. Law of attraction is so toxic because the way it's presented, because it tells people they are responsible for controlling other people's behavior. What? No, it's not normal. That's weird. That's not true. Okay. So again, the message again, now I just sat with it for 1 second. You are not responsible for the way someone else is acting. You are not responsible for attracting a situation in your life that doesn't feel good, right? There are so many factors at play that we don't have control of. The nature of this realm is hardship, is going through things that don't make sense. So if you're kind of blaming yourself or feeling like, what did I do to attract this? What is this inside of me? I'm telling you right now, if no one's ever told you, nothing, okay? Don't think other people's free will behavior is God's will for you. That's not true. So let that go. Give yourself some compassion, some kindness. I feel like maybe with that devil energy, some of those beliefs that make you believe that is like also what could be coming up. Pretty deep message for you, group 4, but yeah, it's I just want to tell you, it's not, you don't do anything to attract someone treating you in a harmful way. Never, ever, 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 ever. And any person who tries to say that, again, is not acting in a place from integrity or a place from, really understanding human dynamics. We do have time to heal and rise. So again, I feel like this is about, with that hangman energy, what I was talking about of, not being in this learned helplessness situation anymore. Because the truth is, at the end of the day, no matter what has happened, you still are responsible for changing your life, for getting on with your life. No one's coming to save you. And so I think, giving yourself time to rest and recover is part of the process of healing and rising. But just knowing that, finding that balance between how much do I need to rest and how much do I need to, rising up could, you don't have to be like, I'm going to change the world and rise up and girl boss and all this stuff. Okay. But, there is a time to, how do I want to say it? There is a time to, things take the time they need to take, but you also need to keep it moving. And again, not in a way that you bypass or go through things that don't feel good for you, but it's important to not, wallow or stay in learned helplessness or whatever. Let things take the time they need. And sometimes that can be hard if your lesson if you've always pushed through, sometimes your lesson is to let yourself relax and take some time. But if you're someone who, is scared of moving forward and taking one step forward and going to that next thing, this could be a sign, you do have to push yourself a little bit each day, just to keep it moving with everything. And then we have, I keep my own counsel as the closing affirmation for you. So again, I think this is really beautiful and just really about, you're in charge of managing your own energy. You're in charge of managing what goes on in your heart. You're in charge of managing all these things. This is what I was talking about with using your healthy toolkit. You're in charge of the things that go on inside of you. You're in charge of how you respond to things, how you manage things. And so I think group 4, you guys really, this is really a message about utilizing your own, again, utilizing your toolkit in a way that feels nourishing and helpful, and not in a way of learned helplessness of hey, I'm feeling this uncomfortable thing, or I'm going through this time, so it's my healthy tools I can use and utilize, versus previously maybe I would have done this thing. Okay, that's everything I have for you. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. If you ever want any more information about me, all that is linked below. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.